Welcome everyone. So this series is pretty much just going to be me teaching you how to go from absolutely zero knowledge to knowing the basic in Roblox scripting. And in the end of this 3 series course, I am hopefully going to be able to teach you how to create pretty much anything you can imagine. So that's my goal with these videos. I hope they help you, and let's get started. So first off, we have to open a new experience. So to do this, you just open Roblox Studio app, like the desktop app, and click New Experience here, which would pretty much just open this. Don't care about that. This view right here. If you don't see these things on the side, this Explorer and Properties. If you click Home here, there are Explorer and Properties here. And if you don't see this output, you can go to Window and then Output here. So you're gonna need all of these three menus right here. So in this video we are going to be focusing on print statements. So what are print statements useful for? Number one, debugging code. Number two, if you want to check a specific value, you can just print it out and you can get and you know what to index. Like let's say you have a game and you need to know where, for example, this base, like you have a part inside of here, for example, you can simply just print it out, and you can see we need to go from workspace, base player, parts, etc. We're gonna go through all of this, and yeah, to add a script in our game, we're just gonna click this plus icon right here, and then select the script. We can rename it to whatever we want. Call it handler, or whoops, or we can call it testing, whatever. You can call it whatever you want. So now, first things first, we're gonna learn what variables are. So variables are just values that you assign. So to assign a variable, you say local first. So you say local hot dog, for example, and then you have to set it to something. For example, you can create a local part, and then we're gonna create a part by clicking this part icon right here, which is gonna create this part. Right now it's in workspace part, so inside of our scripts we can say workspace.part here. So instead of saying workspace.part every single time, we simply have to say part. So if we want to change the part's properties, for example, by the way, if you don't have basic knowledge about Roblox Studio, you might want to learn a bit how Roblox Studio is set up before we continue on this video. But right here we have the properties of part. You can, for example, see the brick color and the color, right? So what we can say is we can say, since we have set part here, we can say part dot color, for example. And we're gonna set it to a color. Color 3 is simply just a keyword for we are gonna create a new color. It's gonna be like a color object. Then from RBG is basically going to be red, green, blue. So you specify this. In any case, no matter pretty much whatever you say here, if you say new, for example, just click this button right here. You can select the color you want, click OK. It should autofill right here. This is also red, green, and blue. However, the values are from 0 to 1. If you say from RBG, it is 1 to 255, for example. So you can also just select here like normal. So it doesn't really matter if you use new or from RBG. However, I prefer using from RBG. So anyway, so if you now we have We assign our variable part to be this workspace dot part, this one. Then we're gonna say part dot color equals to color3 from RPG. So the color of the part is going to be a new color, and it's going to be from red, green, and blue, and it's going to be pretty much this color that you see here. So what we can do is we can click here, select the run option right here, although you might not be able to see that I click this, it's over for me. But anyway, if we hit play now, we can see that it turns green, just like expected, right? However, here comes the print statement. Let's say I do here, for example. Right now, I would imagine it being green-red. However, I changed this to .new, which means it's from 0 to 1 instead of 0 to 255. So what this does, it pretty much just makes it a completely different color, right? This is not the color specified, right? It's not even close, right? So what you can do to understand this is you can add print statements. So first off, just printing anything here, we can pretty much just say check that this script runs, and that it's not another script that runs before this. Like if another script is overriding it, and this is not running at all, that's why we might want to have anything. For example, and then we can, for example, print the part. This is pretty much just going to print workspace the part right here, since we have specified it in this variable. And we also, another thing is to keep in mind when writing something like a string, which is going to be, for example, words, you need either these or these ones. You can also do these ones right here. It's really preference. I would recommend choosing one of those or one of these two. This one is more for like specific use cases that I will show a little bit later, but it has some unique features that these don't. That's why I recommend using these for basic strings. And just having two lines pretty much just means that this is a comment. The code should ignore this part right here. So if we try to print the color of the part as well, so we have the part right here, so we set the color to, we try to set it to green, but it's going to be purple as we saw. So we can just verify if if we pretty much just say the color right here, and we can check if the color of the part is the same as it says in the code right here. And if it is, we know something is wrong with this line right here, since this is where we say the color, for example. So if we play, we can see first we get anything. That means this script runs. This happens. Then we get the part right here. And we also get this color right here. But as you guys can see, it's from 0 to 1 again, compared to this, which is not, right? But what you can see is if we multiply this by 255, we can actually see that we get the same color here. You can also just see like this is a high value, this is a high value, this is a low, this is a low, this is a high, this is a high, right? That pretty much means that this color, this line of code right here, is what is causing this to be pink. If this is confusing and you still don't understand like the purpose of it, I understand that, but it's really important to just know it, because yeah, you're going to use it a lot once you start to program. So what you can also do is color3 dot whatever, right? R 255 part color dot green times 255 part color dot blue times 255, right? So what you see now is it's going to be this value, which is exactly the same as it's here, right? You pretty much just formatted it differently. Because the properties here use RPG, that's why I also prefer using it instead of .new here. But as you guys can see, this is the line, and once you figure out the specific line, it's very simple to just know that you can just check part of color. Is the property color? Yes. The part is defined correctly because we have this one, so we know it's the right part. We know it has a property color. We say color3, we say .new, but we have these values, right? So then we have from RBG instead, right? And then you can see that we get 17, 20, 255, 37, right? These values right here, which matches these. So another simple thing, a pretty useful thing to know, is that you can also print values, or numbers I mean, like 10, 5, and 25. And if you want to print multiple things on the same line, you can use this comma between each item. This just says print this, and this, and this. And it just shows everything at once, right? Like this. So the same goes for variables pretty much. You can also have variables as numbers and as string as well. Hot dog, for example, plus cat, right? We can print number, or we can print the hot dog. So far, what do you think will happen once you print this and this based on what you've learned so far? Just take a moment to think about that. Pause the video if you have to. What actually happens is the print 10, because this is the value which we have assigned, 10 right here, and hot dog plus cat is the value. So we're not printing actual hot dog, we're printing hot dog plus cat, because hot dog has this value. If you want to print hot dog, you would have to wrap it around these again. This will print hot dog, so you see 10 and hot dog. So if it's a string, you have to have this, as mentioned earlier. If it's a variable, you will not have these at all, and you could just write it like this. Another thing is, if the variable don't exist, you might see this, which is, it just shows, if you see this, it pretty much, with this error message right here, it pretty much just says that this variable don't exist, so you might want to set a value to it before trying to print it. So it's just a good thing to look after. Another thing is you can see it over here. You can see like where there are errors or warnings, which is quite useful. But so far, based on what I've tried to teach you so far in this video, your task before proceeding to the next episode is to add a part, use this right here, put it in workspace right here, make a script. Then I want you to make a variable part called part, and to the part in workspace. Change the color of the part to red by using a script. And then print the color of the part. And if you want a challenge, what you can try to do is you can try to print the name of the part. And for that I'm gonna give you a small hint. When you say print the color, you say part to color, right? Print part to color, right? So instead of doing this, instead of assigning the color, you might want to do something else. So that's what I'm going to say for this, and I'll be back with a new episode very soon, and I will give you the answer to how I would make this and fix this, create this pretty much, and we will also be going about more, going further. Next thing, I might implement like either if statements, loops, and probably some sort of delay. So if you want more of this series, just give me a like if you want to, subscribe maybe, or if there's anything you want me to improve on in this video, like for example, you didn't understand a concept, for example, it was badly explained, please let me know. Now we'll try to make a, try to include it in the next video. So I'll see you then.